if you're in a zombie scenario, how do you guys feel about melee weapons, though? I don't think those will do you a lot of good. Like, maybe you finally get to bring out your katana. Finally! Like, you've seen so many movies, so many ninja movies. You've been practicing in front of Netflix. And here you are, man, finally about to swing it at a zombie. And what's gonna happen? You're gonna slice something, that's for sure. You've been practicing so much in front of Netflix. Now you're covered in infectious zombie blood. And you, my friend, are also gonna be infected. Shit. The zombie world starts. I'm gonna start with the rules from Zombieland. Yeah, always double tap. I think that's a good rule, though. Well, let's see what the infographic show has to say. I think they always have some interesting. I think they always have intelligent documentaries, though. Before we start the video, I am gonna put the link in. I encourage you all to watch the video, mute the tab, not mute the video, mute the tab. That way it gets a view, and leave this thing a like. If you haven't seen anything from the infographic show, you're missing out. It's a great channel. It is a great channel.
Day 1. It began and spread with alarming speed. For years after this day, you and other survivors will try to piece together any and all information you can remember.
Those zombies, though, they look kind of cute. It's like if I was gaming, I'd probably want to jump on top of them and pick up their brains
And figure out when it happened, where, or even how. Some will think it was another virus flown in on a public airline flight. Others are sure it started right here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yet others
probably one of those China viruses. Happened because someone ate a bat, right? Is that it? Already double tapping. Just ask Sassy. Monkey see, monkey do. You know what? If I had a zombie in front of me now that I had to deal with, I would double tap. News. Russia is feeding its army brevity now. Oh, the irony. Yeah, I saw a video on that as well. Sound is a little low. Sound for the video or for me? Yeah, I was gonna watch that too. Maybe I will later. We'll see. Because I've seen that as well. So they're basically, if y'all are curious what that is, they're basically feeding their soldiers meth to keep them on the battlefield. The video. Hold on.
think it just happened all over the world all at once. On day 1, chaos reigns in cities around the world. Many people try to flee, only to end up getting stuck in traffic or huge freeway blocking accidents and ending up as zombie bait. You're smart, though. You're a devoted infographics fan, after all.
Yes, I am.
The best thing to do if you aren't already in the outskirts of the city is to shelter in place. In case...
Dude, yeah, I would start my own tribe of warrior cannibals right here in Oslo. And it would be a small tribe, but we would be a powerful tribe, and we would be a fair tribe. But we would make our way north so that we can be in the icy winterlands of Norway, and all the zombies would just freeze, and we'd have nothing to... The only thing we'd have to fear is the cold, though, which is quite the killer, I'll add. But we'd make it. We'd make it. Hitler claimed was going to purge UA from Nazis. Now they're taking the same drugs that Germany did back in the 1940s. I know. I've actually seen that today. I didn't watch it, but I stored it. But I wanted to do something mildly entertaining instead of just talking about current politics. We'll see. Maybe I'll get to that later, though. Thinking for the similar tactic used decades earlier. Yeah. Back in the 40s, man. Those were the days. You're going to be the one riding people inside on the building, waiting for someone to help Cal. Dude, you have such a low opinion of me, Serpix. Boo on you. Yeah, boo. You heard me. On you.
Of nuclear attack, you want to get as low as possible and take shelter at the very core of a building, far from doors and windows as you can get. However, in a zombie apocalypse, it pays to have the
Hordes.
high ground. So you'll enter the nearest high rise and make your way up as far as you can go. Power will soon fail, and with it, the elevators, which means you'll have to climb dozens of flights of stairs to...
High rise, though. I'm I'm not sure I'm agreeing with high-rise being an ideal... I mean, okay, it's not a bad plan, but like that's only until you get yourself far north, right?
Get up high. But that also means a zombie will too. Barricading every door you come across, any zombie or hostile group of survivors would have to cross a gauntlet of blocked doors to get to you. And being that high up will help you avoid the attention of both zombies and marauding looters, who might arise with the collapse of civilization.
Or I'd be one of these dudes. Maybe I'd be with them, maybe. Here's a zombie apocalypse. I would steal a big cruise ship, stock it, and move it 100 meters from the shore. What are the steps before that, though? How many other people have thought of stealing the ship? Where are you compared to the port? How would you get to the port? How would you keep everyone alive there? I'm curious. Because I think this is a good plan, you know? I would like to see the person starting a zombie survival, a crew, an army even, on a ship. But that entails you have to get the ship first. And that entails you're going to get there alive. That entails you're going to get there through a horde of zombies. I'm going north, man. North is the way to freeze the beef and squish the zombies. But maybe we can team up if you make this ship work, posse. Live close to sea. Finn spilled lots of cruise ship. There's enough for everyone. Dude, not an apocalypse, man. Did you see people... I mean, you're saying there's enough for everyone. Did you see people during COVID, how they stacked up on toilet paper? Like, really? And you think there's enough for everyone? I'm not buying that for a buck, a cent, or a million, man. I think there's going to be extreme looting in every way sense. In every sense you can get, there's going to be extreme looting, including of the ships.
Every office tower in America is going to be stocked with food and water, so you're set to ride out at least a week, maybe
right,
two.
Nice. I didn't think of that at all. You can, because I don't want to loot stores because that's full of other looters, right? How about those vending machines, man? That's going to have enough calories to keep you going for a little bit.
To unfold below you. Maybe this is only a local event, and the military will soon respond to contain the situation, or at least fly out survivors. Just in case you make sure
the military
can't
can't handle the zombies.
Make it clear to any airplanes and helicopters that survivors are inside. It's relatively easy to set up a big SOS using brightly colored objects looted from amongst the upper floors. Like an ancient king watching a siege of his castle from the tower, you spend the day waiting and watching as the city below you comes apart at the seams. Day 3. As predicted, not a...
So 3 days, man. What have we done? We've made it to the top of the building. We've scouted the area. And the vending machines are there to keep us well fed. Now we're waiting to find our way north, right? Trust me, you think you're immune from a virus that manipulates your brain? Think again. I don't... you know what? I've already proven that I'm not. Just because I drink alcohol, and that manipulates my brain. And I do stupid shit when I drink alcohol that I wouldn't do sober. And that's just a mild... That's just a mild nudge in the wrong direction, Sundrak. Am I right? To a full-on brain-manipulating virus? Yeah. I'd be singing whatever song you want me to sing. You may able to steal one of the keys for the ship now and keep them for later use. No one will miss it. Yeah, you should get one, man. Just get a spare, just in case. Funny, though, that shitting is the thing that people worry about. Yeah. I will never understand that. You mean... How is toilet paper a crisis? Why did people stock up on toilet paper during COVID? Why was it so extreme? Because it's the most extreme looting I've ever seen. I actually remember being in the store and not finding any toilet paper. And, you know, I was fine. It's cool. I survived. Like, what the fuck, man? That is the dumbest thing ever you could loot, though. You should have looted food or ammo.
Single zombie even attempted to make the climb up to your temporary shelter. Why would they when the streets are still swimming with poorly prepared survivors trying to make a run for it, or hiding out in bad street-level shelters? By now, it's become obvious that this is not a local event. This is it, the zombie apocalypse and the end of the world.
Fuck, there's one in Norway as well! There's a zombie there, we're dead!
There's been no response from the military, and before the electricity died and your phone
I'm betting
withered,
North Korea
the
will
last
be
thing
free
you
of
heard on
zombies.
social
They'll be
media was
fine.
that the president had declared a state of emergency and taken shelter in an emergency bunker. The reason for no military response is because military bases were as overrun with the Walking Dead as any city. So,
Like, do you really think though, like, if you have 28 days later zombies, and there's a million of them trying to take a military base, I believe they can make it. If they're Resident Evil level zombies and they're walking like brains, they you know what, they wouldn't even be a challenge for the military base. Like, make it a NATO base, make it a US base, hell, even an Iranian base, they wouldn't make it. It would be just the easiest challenge ever. And then they would graduate to level 2. Zombies versus the military, 28 days zombies. 28 days later zombies would make it. Resident Evil zombies, they would fold like a cheap hooker who got hit in the face by a big dude with a scar on his face.
some areas have been made secure, but there's still far too much chaos to coordinate anything more than local defense. It'll be weeks, maybe even months, before there's any major attempt to lift zombie sieges of the big cities, if it ever happens at all. There's tens of millions of the undead, and their ranks grow with every freshly slain human.
That's true, man. It's like one dead human is a minus on the human end and a plus on the zombie end. So the math goes the zombie way quickly. Hold on, hear me out. Cat apocalypse. Dude, I'd be here for that, man. I'd be here for that. I'd equip myself with dual laser pointers, and I'd have catnip grenades for so much catnip grenades. But it would be a very cute apocalypse, though.
Stock your food and water. Before the power went out, you filled up every sink, pitcher, container, even the toilets that you could find with fresh drinking water. You need water far more than you need food, though thankfully your food supply is pretty robust. Every office tower in America has multiple small kitchens, snack bars, and most even have restaurants. For the moment, food and water won't be your problem, but you can't stay here forever. Use your time wisely, so you set out rain catches on the roof of the building and keep your SOS signal free of any debris to make it clear survivors are in.
How would you make a rain catcher, though? Plastic bag and a bucket. Maybe if you have the luxury of duct tape, I do that too.
Inside. A few others from around the office building have joined in with you. And if
why are they so happy? Like, why are these dudes so happy? They're making lasagna and chilling. There's a zombie apocalypse outside. They should look distressed and sad.
Small group of survivors. In a disaster, it's important to keep people occupied so they don't despair or do something stupid. So you take a leadership role and assign people tasks. The first is to fashion some kind of effective weapons and protection. You can take it.
Yeah. Did y'all know this? Like, in jail, they will make armor. They will make body armor out of newspapers. And that's very, very effective against cuts. Not so much against stabbing, though. But yeah, like anything you have, they can make a protection of layer versus teeth. That'd be cool. I see this dude making a newspaper armor or something like that. And I respect that. This guy's been in jail before.
A cue from prison inmates and use duct tape and reams of paper to fashion some pretty sturdy body armor for yourself. Infection spreads via biting, so you make protection for your arms and legs as well. The armor can make you stiff, so you only make protection for your forearms, thighs, and chest. Just like a real soldier's body armor, you'll have to make sacrifices for mobility. No amount of body armor will stop a swarm of zombies if you're too slow or stiff to sprint or jump to save.
Yeah, that's right. You got to find the in-between spot there. They're smiling because of the brunette. Gang bang all over you. Gang bang into my room. Maybe it was Bonnie Blue. I don't know. That's a good point, though, Posse.
You fashion spears out of mops and brooms. These are great because while they won't do much lethal damage to the Walking Dead, they can keep them at bay pretty effectively. Sadly, there's just not much you can use for an effective weapon inside an office tower. What you really need is firearms or melee weapons that pack a punch, like baseball bats and axes. Those.
I don't think melee weapons will do. Am I saying it wrong, guys? I say melee, but is melee? Is that the word? Is that how you say it? Either way, I think that's the least effective thing you can do, because I think you're just gonna end up splattered with zombie blood, and then you're gonna get infected. and you're gonna be a part of the Dark Army as well.
We'll have to wait. For now, it's better to avoid a fight altogether if you can help it. You place people on rotating shifts with frequent checks of the stairways that lead up to your shelter areas. In teams of 3s, you start to scavenge the floors below you, being very careful with your progress to make sure you don't run into a situation where you can't quickly escape. There's a few straggler zombies up here, perhaps people who changed when the mysterious phenomenon that started this nightmare struck, and they're easy to eliminate. You aim for the head out of habit from listening to years of popular culture, but the truth is, the rest of the body is vulnerable too. If you shatter a zombie's leg, it can't stand up on that leg anymore. If you smash it...
Yeah, I thought about that, like a baseball bat to the knee. They're not going to come running after you after that. Hold on. I think the last one was the correct way of saying it, but I'm saying melee too. I'm sticking to my guns here, man. Melee weapons. Until I'm otherwise proven, it's called melee weapons. Melee weapon. Says Millie Pew. Fair enough, man. That's also a way of saying it, man. I'm not sure firearms would be great without a silencer, dude. Fair enough, man. That'll attract attention. But would you rather have attention or be covered in zombie goo? That's a good question, though, isn't it? Like, if you can choose being covered in zombie goo or have attention from zombies and a chance to run away, I don't know, man. I think I'd be fine without the silencer. I wouldn't be fine. I'd be better off, though. Might be stupid. What is a silencer? Silence is something you have never experienced, Turpix. Something you never will. I'll be unable to explain it to you. Like, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Newspaper armor, worst fucking idea ever. You might as well shout. Here we are, come eat us. No, I support the newspaper armor, man. I support the newspaper armor. I mean, yeah, it's gonna make a little more noise, but it can protect you in a vulnerable moment. So I support the newspaper armor. Do you imagine AI enhanced zombies? Yeah, like the T-virus. Like the T-virus with like the lickers. Or the dude with the trench coat and the hat. I can imagine it. Pretty much just silence down the noise of the shot. I take newspaper armor over no armor. Yeah, me too, man. Oh, you mean a suppressor? I don't know what to say to you, Sir Pix. I don't know what to say to you. But I appreciate you. You're a good guy. Without a doubt.
Its arm, it can't climb or grab you. And if you break its spine, then it's stuck on the ground for good. Sure, destroying the brain is good, but breaking bones makes it incredibly difficult for a zombie to actually hurt you. With your spears, though, all you can really do is pin one in place while your buddy stabs it in the head.
Yeah, but if you have like a group of a bunch of people, and y'all have spears, and you pretend to be Spartans, everyone stabs it, and then someone can they'll be stuck there, right? They'll be pinned down. And then you can just pretty much play a game of whack-a-mole, and then you're good. I think that silence is the British word for oppressor. Oppressor. I think they're the same. I think they're the same. If there's any difference, let me know. But a silencer and suppressor, I think they're the same. But I don't think any one of them, they don't silence your gun though. It's not going to make it silent. This isn't the movies. Is rotten teeth, duct tape, and newspaper? Yeah, we're good. I'd say we're doing pretty well though if we have newspaper armor. I think that's a good start. But I'd love to improve on that though somehow. They are the bloody same. That's what I'm claiming as well. Sandruk.
It's a good strategy for the few you run into in the tower, but you'll need better weapons to survive in the streets. Luckily, before the electricity went out, you made sure to plot out the location of every gun shop, army surplus store, and police station.
I was not that good. I was not that good. I'm looting the dead idiots that thought they were going to run around with 14 guns on their body and survive the zombie apocalypse because they had 14 guns. I'm looting those motherfuckers. I have no idea where the gun stores are. I was not that quick of thinking.
You got a crude map and a plan. You're far ahead of the game versus other survivors. Day 7. Fires started days ago from unattended appliances, car crashes, and other minor incidents that the fire department would normally have attended to. However, nobody's putting out the fires, and it's becoming increasingly dangerous to remain in your tower shelter. Some of the group doesn't want to leave, but he explained...
Hey, look, he's rocking the newspaper armor. Juice canister armor. The plastic on juice cans is unstoppable. Yeah, but that sounds a little too... I love it. That would be the heavy guy. That would be the heavy guy. There to soak up damage, right? But I think that will make you a little too immobile. Anyways, last time I was silent, Garfunkel wrote the sound of silence. So I can't be... Hey, that was some very good inspiration though, brother. Like, it was a well-deserved inspiration. Someone had to help them come up with it, right? And I'm glad it was you.
Them that if they stay, they will inevitably burn up when the fires reach the building. There's a myriad of underground services and sewage tunnels that crisscross a modern city.
I would never go into the sewers in the zombie apocalypse. I don't know, but I imagine that I mean, shit rolls downhill, right? If a zombie is unfortunate, a zombie is going to fall into the sewer, and it's going to be a problem for you in your local sewer. Am I stupid to think like that? Like, I don't think the sewers are zombie free.
And you briefly consider using one of these to get around and avoid zombies. Perhaps if you or anyone in your group actually knew anything about those tunnels, like how to get into them or where they go, it might be a good idea. The reality is, though, if you don't have the first idea of how to even get into the labyrinth-like maze under your feet, you'll just have to use the streets. The underground garage has cars, but you have no idea where to find the keys. Besides, cars will draw attention, and it's best to move silently for now.
I hear that. It's best to move silently for now. Today, every vehicle is silent, though. They're all electric, and you can't hear them until they're on top of you. At the same time, how hard is it to hotwire a car? I've never done it. How do you... I have so many criminals hanging out here in my stream. Like, this place is full of criminals like Posse and Sir Pix. How do I hotwire cars, guys? Let me know if I can survive. Because I'm saying, if we can take a car, even if it's not silent, we're taking a car. We're getting the fuck out of here.
The chaos outside has died down in the last few days, as the zombie all-you-can-eat buffet ran out of easy prey. You consider when to make your move. Daytime will give you much better visibility, but it will also mean the zombies have just as good visibility for you. Instead, you opt to move at night, and make sure everyone is wearing dark clothing. Holding your spears and skirting along the edge of buildings, your first destination is a...
Looks like a cleaner crew. Holding your spears. Take out the blue wire and mix it with the red wire. If it's a Tesla, better off walking. Tesla would be perfect in a zombie scenario, though, because no one could hear you. And you would be silent, just a shadow shifting among the clouds.
Police station only 4 blocks away from your current location. Sticking to the shadows, you stay out of sight of most of the wandering zombies. The bulk of the Walking
Tesla.
Dead.
Would you be picky? Like, okay, let's say there's a zombie scenario and you don't like Tesla. And you know, Her Royal Majesty, that I'm coming to get you in this scenario, right? So let's say I've killed every single zombie from here to your place, and I show up with a Tesla. And we're getting the fuck out of here. Would you be like, fuck you, we're walking? Or would you actually join me in that car brand that you don't like? Hate the car with a passion. Yeah, I don't mind it that much. Like the alarm first, and you're dead before the car is hotwired. I'm so good at car thief that I literally yesterday couldn't hotwire fucking solid for scooter. I have no idea how to hotwire a car, though. But yeah, I wouldn't want to drive around with a car alarm blaring in my car, though. But a new electric go-kart, you can pick it up in Drummond, just standing there. Why would anyone want to go to Drummond, though? Like, it's there's my issue. I don't mind an electric go-kart for free, but I mind going to Drummond.
Have followed the initial rush of refugees out of the city. They're acting just like any predator would, simply following migrating prey. This is a relief to you, because if not, the city would be a guaranteed death trap. There is the occasional zombie you stumble into, but it's easy to overpower 1 or 2 of them at a time, with your group's long spears. Arriving at the police
spears.
station, though, it's obvious others had the same idea as you, as it's even been barricaded. You should have known. Luckily, the world hasn't lost all its good people because the survivors let you in. It's not...
That's what I fear the most in a zombie apocalypse. If there were to be a zombie apocalypse, I don't think people would be nice and let you in. I think that would be a rarity, you know. I think they would want the things that you have, and I think that invitation would be an invitation for you to put your head on the chopping block, basically. Tesla drivers of modern day, BMW drivers. Yeah, they could have been Audi drivers. They're even worse though. Do you know what BMW stands for? Big mommy wankers. I've heard a lot of racist terms for BMW, but I've never heard that one before. That was new to me. Hot marker. Turn on Mission Impossible theme song. Look serious. Make grunting sounds and just fiddle with the starter. Not the fiddle I'm starting. It's not the fiddler. Never mind. Moving on. I can't even say it. It's not the starter I'm fiddling with, but I'm fiddling with something. Yet it starts. They're gonna eat exactly, Sandrak. I'm more worried about cannibals than zombies at this point if I meet humans.
Nearly as safe as your high-rise tower, despite now having access to a few leftover pistols, but it's a little further away from the encroaching
They just wanted the brunette. That's what they wanted. They didn't care about the rest.
fires. However, it's clear to both you and the survivors already sheltering here that this isn't a place you can stay. Not only is the threat of being consumed by the raging fires growing closer every hour, but
What if Leon Kennedy is there, though? Will that change things if Leon Kennedy is there? I would be more worried. Because where Leon Kennedy is, trouble tends to follow. Or rather, where the worst troubles occur, Leon Kennedy always is, you know. So Leon Kennedy has become synonymous with trouble for me.
if you're going to survive long-term, you need renewable food and water, neither of which you can get in the heart of the city. It's clear all of you have to leave, but the question is where. Day 9. After 2 days of deliberating, the group is split on how to proceed. The fires are close now, and you need to leave in the next 24 hours or risk burning to death. One group wants to head toward the nearest military base, hoping it's held out or been reclaimed. This
A good idea. But look at the zombies. Are they 7 days zombies or are they 28 days later zombies?
in of itself isn't a bad idea, but it comes with a pretty big downside. There's bound to be thousands of other people who have the exact same idea, and all you're really doing is fleeing from one large concentration of people to another, which is exactly what the zombies are also doing. If the base is held, it'll likely be very secure at this point. Shambling zombies are simply no match versus modern military weaponry, but that's very
fair.
big if at this point. You've got another idea. You've watched infographics for years, and you know one thing about zombies that nobody else does. Without their hearts pumping warm blood around their bodies, zombies can't handle cold.
That's what I said. Head north, man. Freeze them over like bad steak.
The moment the temperature drops to freezing, even the fastest zombie is going to be a popsicle. You try to explain that to people that it's no different than sticking a piece of meat in the freezer, but they just don't listen to you. They're sadly too brainwashed from years of characters on TV making really stupid decisions during zombie apocalypses and not doing the obvious heading north. Agreeing to disagree, you decide to...
Coral! 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 Dude, I love that series, man. What little I saw of it. Coral! Fantastic series, man. Walking Dead. The zombie comes to Norway and moving to Svalbard. No dead is no dead is allowed there is by law. I know, man. I know. That's a weird law, though. I mean, of course, no one's going to stop you from dying, but it's against the law to be buried there because your body would remain permanent because of the permafrost.
Part ways. You and your group load up 2 police SUVs with supplies, mostly food, water, and gasoline. You siphon from other vehicles. Surprisingly, there's not much in the way of weapons or ammo left in the police station, probably because the cops who were here when the world went to hell took it with them as they acted on their own survival plans.
I would.
Your goal is to get out of the city and head north. Survival depends on you getting as far north as you can go. Day 10. Your 2 groups wish each other luck and drive in opposite directions.
Got the brunette. I know. You know why? Because he had the best... Listen to this, Posse. He had the best newspaper armor. He knew how to put that thing together. Now he has the brunette.
Streets are a mess, but you manage to navigate past wrecks and small hordes of zombies. You wisely stay off the freeways, as they're bound to be full of traffic snarls and wrecks, and instead stick to surface streets until you can make it out of the city. Day 12. You took a full 24 hours to get out of the city thanks to having to navigate so many potential roadblocks, and there was no stopping your small convoy for anything but refueling. You're taking shifts driving until you're in open country. And today you raided the first gas station you came across for paper maps of the state
nice.
and
What
the
you
North American
find?
freeway system. Your goal.
Yeah, because. Or do you think you're gonna come into loot someplace and it's gonna be completely stripped down? You know, there's a limit to what people can carry, right?
It's Alaska, and you need to get there before winter comes or you could get trapped. You're tempted to loot some of the big department stores you drive past, but wisely think twice about it. Sure, they're bound to be full of supplies, but also full of zombies. You need to get out into more rural America before you start thinking about looting big box stores that could potentially be full of dozens of zombies. Day 15.
Yeah.
You're making much better progress now thanks to your paper maps. You use them to avoid the freeways and use back roads, where the
How's that car driving for so long though? I mean, how much petrol is there? Limit? What's that? The maximum. It is the maximum capacity. We do not have the capacity. Americans have big cars. Yeah, big cars and more guns than humans. So that I think America would do fine during a zombie apocalypse because of that.
area is so free of signs of the apocalypse that you could almost swear it had never happened at all. But then you inevitably come across a wreck or the signs of a family having been torn apart and eaten by the walking dead. Still, you're out far enough from major population centers, you take the risk raiding a big box store. You've been mostly hitting small gas stations and convenience stores.
I want a lot of people with me. You know, how many people do you need to loot a big box, like a proper store, like a mall? Dude, if you're like 15, 20 people, but then you need like 3 cars, I don't know, maybe a couple of vans, something like that. Because that's not something I do likely, man. You need to plan an assault, a raid assault. How much petrol? That's at least 6-liter engine, so it consumes a lot. Yeah, exactly. And petrol has an expiration date, though. I mean, a petrol will basically last for a year after it's been pumped into another gas station. So it's something to consider as well, though. Norway is strict with guns. My stepdad has 3 or 4, though, and can make his own bullets. Yeah, it is strict. I know some people who have gun licenses, Millie, but it's like they didn't get them on the spot or on the day. They had to work for it. So yeah, we're strict with guns here.
You really need to up your weapon game, and it would help to get more food supplies. You enter the building as a team and in formation, no different than ancient Greek warriors would fight. You've been drilling like this during your rest breaks.
Information.
One of the oldest forms of warfare in the world has come back, and for good reason. It works. Working together, you present a wall of spears to any zombie threat, and easily hack them to pieces without letting them get near you.
Yeah, dude, just like Leonidas, you know, but like Leonidas said, never break rank. And then what did he do? He broke rank. And he kicked ass. A whole lot of ass. Kind of jealous about that. And those jackasses are still wandering in those paper news armors. You know, I think those newspaper armors are great, though. They're wonderful protection.
Those on the first row stick their spears straight out and impale zombies on them, then step aside so those in the second row can lunge forward and deliver the killing blows with axes, hammers, or similar weapons. It's brutally effective, and you see why the ancients fought like this. The #1 rule of zombie warfare is to never split up. So while it would be faster for you to investigate the store as teams, you stick together. You manage to score some badly needed camping equipment, a few rifles, and loads of rounds for each. You also get practical survival equipment like fishing poles and lures. You'll need those for your new life in the cold.
Yeah, you'll become a fishing expert in no time. And like, if you're starving and you have to do a certain action for food, you'll figure out how to do that action. You know? And if you've never fished before, you're going to learn how to fish because you're dying, and you will be the genius that Mother Nature made you into. Some people from 18 tend to learn gun control, so if Norway ever gets invaded, we have more guns, people who can use them. Yeah, I'm not against that idea. I think that's a good idea. I think everyone should have a little bit more gun knowledge in Norway, though. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And but, you know, one of the most important things is to learn the rules of safety, you know. And if you manage to, the thing about the gun rule safety, though, if you break one rule, you're probably not going to hurt anyone. You have to break at least 2 rules to be able to hurt someone, you know, with guns. Well, that wouldn't be safe, I think, because now the rules check diagnose it. So, not a mentally unstable person can you be able to use guns. No, and I agree. I agree with their decision to do that, though. I think that that's a good choice, that they shouldn't let everyone handle a gun. I think that's a good thing.
Speaking of which, you make sure to snatch up any cold weather gear and first aid kits you can find. Day 25. You've made decent time despite having to keep off major freeways, and it's good because fall will soon be here and the first snowfalls not long after that. You made it to Canada, where the situation is much the same as the US. This is
except colder, which means slower zombies.
Since a national crisis, the zombies don't respect any borders. Some of the group want to stop here, where the weather will be a little better than in frozen Alaska, but you know better. Bad weather is exactly why you're going as far north as you can. You need
person, I think it's stupid. Is the difference between shooting at a cardboard and a target, not a person? Hold on. I think it's stupid. What do you think is stupid? There's a difference between shooting a cardboard target and a person. I don't understand. Bad if you're mentally unstable. Yeah, it is, man. It is. Would die in the wilderness and less than 4 hours. Bossy, no, you'd make it, man. You'd find a way. Like, if there's one thing that can give men wings, it's fear. You know, and if you don't want to starve, you're about to learn, brother. And I firmly believe that that's true. That you can't just no, it's when you have to, you will figure out how to do it. Let's see the thing. Rule 1: don't point the gun at yourself or anyone you don't want to hurt. I guess the name of the don't point the gun at anything you aren't willing to destroy. Many people don't respect this rule. Yeah, and that is rule number 1, though. Rule number I don't know. Always make sure your firearm is unloaded. You know, and then see if you broke one of those 2 rules, you still wouldn't be able to hurt someone. So the rules are made so that as long as you don't break 2 or more rules, people should generally be safe around you, you know. Yeah, but also, if you can target yourself, you're mentally unstable, so the rules are for everyone's safety. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think everyone should have a gun. I think there are a lot of gun owners that shouldn't have guns. Like, I don't think guns in general are a bad thing, but I don't think you shouldn't be selling them at Walmart or handing them out like free candy, you know. And basic knowledge is good knowledge. Yeah, like, information changes situations. It always has and it always will. Even you got that too. But even the hardest of people won't kill. You won't cross that line. Animals is fine, but other people, nah. Yeah, but like the rule isn't there for the general populace. You know, the general populace, there's about 2% of people who are willing to kill. So yeah, but we're still keeping the rest of the 98% safe from the 2% though, and I think that's fair. I need to mention trigger discipline. No. I mean, don't put your hand on the. Is that what you're aiming for? Don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Is that what you're aiming for? That's why we need the rednecks who don't care and shoot the shit. I was trying to say the exact opposite. Hold on. Let's see where we're going now. We made it so far. We're in Alaska now.
You need to stay far away from anywhere temperate for at least a year, maybe 2 to be safe. By that time, any reanimated flesh will have fallen apart due to decay, or zombies will simply have been eaten up by wild predators. Humans kinda suck without guns.
But what happens when a predator eats a zombie, though? Are the horses immune? Are wolves immune? Who's immune to the illness? Like, we don't know that. So maybe we are now dealing with zombie oh fucking god. Zombie wolves. Worst case scenario, man. Zombie wolves. So I heard this trick. This is a very interesting trick. If you come across a werewolf and you are a wizard and you're able to cast invisibility on the werewolf, because a werewolf will not become a werewolf until it is full moon, right? So in theory, if you cast invisible on a werewolf, the light will not reflect off the beast and it will lose its ability to retain its wolf form. Worst case scenario, though, invisible werewolf. Sucks. Let's see the thing. The cop on Colburn didn't follow that, unfortunately. He slept his whole family? Holy shit! I didn't hear about that case, man. I didn't hear about that case at all. Mentally stable and you have your police stuff clean. You get guns in Norway and a license if you're in a gun club. Yeah. But you have to be an active member in a gun club, though. You have to be an active shooting member. And you have to have a proper safe. It has to be bolted to your home. I like the saying sometimes. Just don't think, just do. Sometimes that's a good thing, Your Royal Majesty. Sometimes. It's I think that more often you should, but every now and then you should just, shut the fuck up, and then do it. After other cops in Norway, after they could carry out a lot of accidents when showing off their USPs. Yeah. I haven't heard of all those accidents, though. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, famous Våd is good. Never done that, never will. Invisible werewolf? Damn, yeah. Hey, we tried to solve the problem, though. Sometimes think before you do.
So predators like bears, cougars, and wolves will be having a field day, gorging themselves on walking
I'm betting the cougars are having a field day. You know what I mean?
corpses. Then a scary thought hits you. What if those animals become zombies too by eating zombie flesh? Or perhaps by getting bit while taking a zombie down? The thought of a
zombie bear
sends a chill down your spine.
Yeah, that's my greatest fear, man. Zombie bear. Actually, no. My greatest fear would be something like zombie flies. Yeah, imagine that, man. A fly that's a zombie. It'll just land on you and like give you that fucking stupid look, bite you, and then you're it as well. Sir Big says, yeah, like a friend of mine said, you'll find monkeys in every position in every job you can think of. You will, man. You will. You absolutely will. But you'll thankfully not just find monkeys. If you did, company would go broke, I think. That is the most heavy gun locker thingy. It's supposed to be heavy. It's supposed to have an extreme weight. How many does he have in there, though, out of curiosity? That one was ass carrying up the stairs. Oh yeah, you were there to bolt the safe to where it was supposed to be, Corsair, I'm guessing. Then he became the leader of the local oh my god. Wait a minute, Serpex, you tell me someone had Voldeskud and then became the leader of the local police? The heavy mom thought it would end up in the downstairs neighbor's living room. Hey, that's a nice surprise, though. Surprise, surprise! We had a little training. He came home with a black eye and a twisted wrist, and he went home with a broken rib and a broken bone in his foot. Yeah, that's what happens when you kick ass, you know. And then if you, apparently like Serpix here does, if he decides to block a punch, he'll block it with his face like a real man. That's how you do it.
It reinforces your decisions. You're going to Alaska for 2 years minimum. After that, nature should have run its course, and there shouldn't be many, if any, zombies left. You continue siphoning gas from vehicles you come across, and
I mean, even if you're not going north, even the zombies that are in the southern part, you know, will they continue to decay? Will sinew and muscle rot and loosen so that they can't move anymore? Like, how much time before a zombie becomes little to no threat?
take more than you need for the trip. You don't know how many vehicles you'll encounter in rural Alaska, so you'll need plenty of gas for the future. In a dry, cool environment, gasoline can last for a few years before going bad due to oxidation. So you should be fine storing it even over the winter. You do pick up plenty of fuel stabilizer, though, from gas stations and mechanic shops you run across, as you'll need it for storing gasoline long term. You also grab spare tires. There's a very real risk of tire rot. while vehicles are kept in storage. Just ask the Russians inside Ukraine.
Oh, that's cold, man. Dude, yeah, that was one thing that... Y'all remember that 80-kilometer long march of vehicles that was on its way to Ukraine from Russia? And I remember seeing that, and I was just so terrified. I thought, okay, 80 kilometers of weapons and vehicles heading into Ukraine. And if they had gotten there, you know, that could have been a genuine threat. That was a dangerous situation. But the thing is, though, if you have a car and if you're using it once a year, well, that car is already dead, you know. Not driving a car is even more damaging than driving it. But furthermore, the rubber on the tires, if you don't rotate your car, meaning you take it, you turn it around, you park it the other way so that the light can hit the other tires, your tires are going to burst. And that's what happened to more or less every single vehicle in that 80-kilometer long colonne heading towards Ukraine. So that's a very good point, actually. Let's see the thing. I didn't do that, but the one who was before him, okay, yeah. I haven't caught up on any of this, though. I didn't read about any of this. The black guy was because of a door that I got slammed into. We love it a bit rough. Yeah, boy. We do love it a bit rough, you know. A little bit of rough, a little shaky. Yeah, a little bit of naughty, you know. That's the fun bit. I hear you, Zerpaderp.
Day 40. The journey's been a lot slower than it would normally be using freeways, but you've managed to beat the winter to Alaska. Now it's a matter of finding a good place to shelter. Luckily, coastal Alaska is full of a lot of small resort communities or clusters of cabins for tourists.
Do you think the people in Alaska would be aware that this was happening at all? Really?
To rent during the spring and summer. And the coastal waters off of Alaska are rich in all kinds of edible sea life. There's rivers everywhere, which are also teeming with fish. It's the last truly untouched place in North America, and life is abundant here. You pick a small cluster of cabins on the coast, not too far from a river, using a tourist attraction map you can find in most motels or gas stations.
Oh, look at all that canned salmon, guys. I'm hungry just looking at it. I love canned salmon. I don't know, maybe I have horrible taste, but salmon, no matter which form it is in, it's perfect.
Also pick up plenty of canned goods that you can add to your sizable stockpile in the back of both SUVs. You never hunted before, and the last time you went fishing, you were a kid. It's going to be a huge learning curve, but one that you can pick up with time. Until then, you're going to have to supplement your diet with canned goods, especially during the long, freezing winter. Humanity has thrived in every environment on Earth except Antarctica for thousands of years, though.
Yeah, we're not made to survive in the ice like that. But the Sami people seem to be doing it quite well, though, so I bet you can adapt.
From one of the greatest survival success stories in history, even if modern living has dulled your edge. If your ancestors could do it, though, so can you, especially with the help of modern rifles and fishing poles. As far as the zombie threat, not only is your location remote, but as predicted, when the temperature falls, the zombies you do come across in supply and scouting runs all start to slow down. Without warm blood coursing through their veins, the zombies get gradually stiffer and stiffer as the temperature plummets, and killing them is
just shatter them like glass
bits while they try to lunge at you in slow motion. It's going to be tough surviving up here in Alaska, but if anything ends up eating you here, it's going to be a bear, wolves, or Bigfoot, but definitely not a zombie. Now check out US military Bigfoot, actually has a zombie plan, or click this other video instead. Do
the military actually have a zombie survival plan? I like that. Play synthwave.